Ooh, okay. Welcome everyone to another time lapse video. Today I have a time lapse video, but I'll just be doing for the voiceover like a free range kind of soliloquy thing as I've done in the past, but this one's just entirely free range. I do have something that I want to say specifically, and that is to address a suspicion of mine that it's possible that there are many people out there that will get the chance to hear this or not. But the thing that I'm thinking about is, have you given that thing a shot actually? There are some things that we naturally tell ourselves that, oh, they're not possible, or because they're not really within our control, like brushing our teeth or combing our hair. At least if you want to make the argument that, oh, okay, to brush your teeth, you need money. To get toothpaste, and to get money, you need a job, and to get a job, you need to do, so many check marks, right? So at least something like clapping your hands or touching your back, something direct that's entirely within your control. It's when it comes to certain goals, the ones that you think are far-fetched. Take, for example, going to university if you haven't already, or you are done with what's called secondary education. I think in the US it's called high school, that sort of thing, and you haven't applied effort to go to university. And it's a dream of yours, or it's linked to a potential career that you are seeking, or maybe something like you want to work out and build a certain physique, so it's possible like you are built a certain way and you feel like to attain the kind of physique that you wish to attain, that because of your skeletal structure, you wouldn't be able to achieve that. Today, I just want to give you your possible infinite, right, reminder, or 1,000th unsolicited reminder that you should try. You understand, as dark and gloomy as things can be, especially when you're at a point in your life, possibly, that you're seeing through a lot of things. You understand things like, social constructs. You understand the root of things like attraction, things like wealth. You really understand where they come from, how they work, and how unattainable they can be. You understand that 105%. But then again, the revolution, it's gaining momentum, but then for the time being, right? Are you going to sit back or either participate in the revolution, or at least satiate your curiosity of what that game would have looked like if you had given it a shot? So, it could be something like, if you work in a corporate job, asking for that raise, or asking for better treatment, because a lot of people have very toxic coworkers, and they are pushovers, what's called pushovers, what people brand as pushovers. That is, people can easily tell you to do things and you just do them without any retaliation. So have you tried to retaliate peacefully, quote unquote? Because really, I know also at the receiving end of that, the person that you're retaliating against is possibly not even going to want to entertain your quote unquote BS. Or did you even think of considering that? And then also, I also understand that certain jobs are like lifelines for a lot of people, so they can't even afford any retaliation or whatnot. But if you can weigh the risk, right, and in the worst possible, most pessimistic situation that could come out of, and it's still, if not entirely okay, at least not dire, This is just your unsolicited reminder to check it out if it's possible. For myself, I have been curious about a lot of things. Take, for example, this whole PBR thing for Second Life. I initially just, read up a quick document to really get me started. And then I did a test upload, and that was it. I never really invested myself in it afterward until, the I'll be honest with you, the 20% thing really made me look at Second Life again. That is me just being 105% honest with you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the 20% thing, I did a video on Friday talking about it, so you can have a look at that. I should be able to link this. If I don't, just the Friday when that was the 26th of September. So the video I put out that day, that's me talking about the 20% thing for IMVU. Yeah, a lot of people really, I'm not the only one. I had already done creating on Second Life, had a marketplace, I had a store at some point, still have land now, not a store. Now I have land, but as most of you know who play Second Life, land isn't permanent. But yeah, I have land now. I don't know if I'll be turning it into a store, just wait till the rent expires and then, just wash the delusion off my face. But yeah, I've had land. I have a marketplace. A marketplace is like the more perpetual option. These games are always changing, so we don't even know if the marketplace is going to be perpetual. But yeah, I have a marketplace. I usually link my marketplace if you want to check that out. But the 20% thing was like, okay, SL exists. And I had been creating for it early last year, actively more than I was for IMVU. But IMVU is like really my mainstay because I've been creating on there longer than I have for Second Life. I've had both accounts almost the same, almost like more than 10 years now. But the creating I've done much more of on IMV, and it's, I wouldn't say easier per se. There's some things that I battle with fundamentally with IMV. Take, for example, the asymmetrical bodies and how the size limits, although Second Life itself also has size limits, but that's on you if you're pushing things to that regard. The size limits on IMVU, the texture limits on IMVU, they were frustrating, but also at times fun to work around because you, instead of just dumping all your UV islands onto one square, it was fun seeing arranging your UV islands into different squares because of different materials, so your textures could be legible enough. And also making things like product HTMLs, icons. Although at some point I just stopped making icons because the ones Studio generates for you, they were very nice. But yeah, so following the 20% thing, I was like, okay, SL exists. And people did reach out to me saying, okay, we need Second Life tutorials. So I was like, okay, fine. This will take priority in this moment. And that was why throughout last week we did only tutorials for Second Life. But now that IMVU literally on, was it Thursday last week or Wednesday last week? I know it was the Friday. It was before the Friday I put out the previous video. So let's call it Thursday last week. Now that they've come out and said that it's on a pause, just as a rehash of what I said on the video on Friday, that isn't a comforting statement. In the slightest, it's not a comforting statement. Okay, so them calling it a pause isn't the karma that they think it is. It's like by karma, I mean CALMER, like something that will calm you down. It's not the calming comment that they might think it is. It's implicitly indicating, okay, fine, laugh now, like I said, laugh now, cry later. So yeah, and given that IMVU really is still, I guess, if you do based on like volume of output, my primary renderer, my primary like 3D catalog host platform, that's kind of, I won't say saddening, but not nice to hear. All right, that they could be this indecisive about something so needed. So yeah, that is my own just try something, right? Just give it a shot thing, the whole PBR thing. I made the items you're watching now, I made them both PBR and what's the other one? Blin Fong. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well, but yeah, the regular, normal specular, that diffuse, and then your PBR, GLTF material. So I did both versions for this. I plan for this piece to do more colors. Also, I found out something very tragic about the creator behind the HUD that I use. So I don't know if I need to change my HUD or if I'll need a new HUD. And if I need a new, if I need a new HUD system, that's going to take forever, depending on how you respond to this video, this, piece. You can, if you like the pieces, because it's a top and a bottom, as you can see. So if you want to get the pieces, there'll be a link eventually. I don't know if I'll have it on the marketplace by the time I am done here, but eventually there should be a link. I added more sizes. I only show the rigging for Legacy and Matria, but I add eventually more sizes. So obviously Reborn will be added, then also Wayfu, then also what's the one in Ethereum? Cupra. Yeah. Then yeah, so it's just those five: the regular Legacy Feminine, Matria LRX, Reborn, the regular Reborn, then the Reborn Waifu or Waifu, I'm not sure, and then in Ethereum Cooper, which to me sounds like a good badge. If I'm missing some other Devkit that you are using because you are the one getting it, let me know what you think and which ones I should add. I do have some others, but some other kits, but I have heard very shady things about one in particular. So that one, if you mention it, I'm not going to respond to your comments. So yeah, I heard directly from the company, so it's not even hearsay and just me peddling propaganda, like quotes from the company that were disturbing. So I wouldn't, for now, be engaging with that specific kit, but this is my lineup for now. And yeah, just your reminder, I want this to be 15 minutes. So just your reminder to give that thing that you always had in your head a shot, really. That's just what I wanted to come on here and say. Like I said, it could be working out, losing weight. Not necessarily that everyone needs to lose weight. No, that's, I wouldn't call it dumb, but it's not the positive advice people think it is. You can lose weight if you want to, all right? Why do people lose it? Because a lot of people, depending on your size, really, not everyone needs to lose weight. Not everyone needs to gain muscle mass. But depending on the size of what you want for your life, and most of the things at times do with social perception. So if you want to fit the mold or you want to be perceived in the way that you admire that certain people are perceived, it's worth a shot, really. It's all worth a shot. That dress, you think it's too expensive. Well, if it's too expensive, that one, sadly, I can't dictate something about in that regard, obviously, because, tragically, we live in this kind of system where this kind of thing happens and all of that. But let's say your issue with the dress isn't that it's expensive. If the dress, right, you're looking at the dress and you're like, oh, at times you have an internal feeling about that your being, your body doesn't merit the beauty of the dress or the avant-garde level of the dress, but you can afford it, right? Thankfully you can even afford even more expensive dresses. But the thing is, you just can't see yourself, or you think that you're not worthy enough. And it comes in your size. It's not even a size. It comes in your size. You just don't think that you're stylish enough. So that I say, just go ahead. All right. This is your random reminder to go ahead. If you're getting this from a channel that focuses more on 3D, right? You're getting this random life advice from a channel you'd least or ought to least expect it from. Then I don't think there are bigger signs than that. Obviously, there are bigger signs, like you could get on your way home, if you driving on your way home, like you could see a billboard that says, buy that dress. And it's not an ad, it's just somebody inscribed it boldly onto some billboard. Maybe they spray painted it onto a billboard, buy that dress, So this is just one of us. And buy that dress, whoever is listening, and you feel like that's you, buy that dress. If you can afford it, get that gym membership. If you can't afford it, because some people, it's the reverse. They want to gain weight so that they fit clothes better. Apparently, there used to be all these derogatory 2000 shows. Well, not really. I don't know the intent behind the productions, but I remember the title was, I think, Super Size versus Super Skinny. And then we always used to wonder as kids, like, what's the super skinny worried about? So they just need to eat more. But the thing is, a lot of people, irrespective of how much they eat, do not gain weight. So you, if you can't afford it, maybe have discussions with a nutritionist or a doctor. If gaining weight to some degree is your goal, then what other goals do people have that they just fold their arms about? Like, okay, for me now, mine was the PBR thing specifically, not necessarily creating for ESL. Like, it's obvious I had been creating for ESL, but creating PBR items specifically, no. Applying for an event on Second Life also. Yeah, applying for an event. Some people don't even apply. They just think, oh, the politics is not going to fail. No. If you never know. You never know. The worst you can hear is no, but that you never applied. I think that's what I'm really driving at. The worst you can hear is no. That's my closing phrase sentence. The worst you can hear really is no. For most things, I mean, don't go putting your hand in concentrated acid and thinking, oh, the worst your body will hear is no. Well, you'll hear much more things and will have to spend a lot more money fixing your hand eventually, even though you think you might be able to ride out the pain. But yeah, when it comes to, applying for X company, apply for some big company that you think could never hire you in a million years. Even if you don't have the degree, at least the worst you can say is no, provided it's an open application platform. Don't lie about anything. Don't waste the recruiter's time. Yeah, the worst you can hear is no. So thank you for listening to this recording. I appreciate your time. Also, if you like this piece, you can get it on the Second Life marketplace. If I ever open a store, you should also be able to see it in my store. The piece comes in sizes, like we mentioned earlier, 5 sizes, 2 for Reborn, 1 Legacy, 1 Matria, and then 1 Cupra. Colors for now, just the one. Usually making the HUDs takes me time, and then I'm also checking out other scripts from HUD making. I don't know how really the best ones out there, quote and unquote. I know of the popular ones, but to really gauge what's the best for me, I'd have to use them. And then these are things you can demo, and of course they're kind of expensive too. So yeah, that's where we're at for now. Thanks again for listening to this, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, just a quick one. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time. Subscribe to the channel. Just go ahead and subscribe. Like the video if you like what I said, or even if you didn't like what I said, the output of the creation that we made, like the PBR textures that we made. Also, share this video with who needs their sign as well. And yeah, we're done officially now. Thank you once again for listening to this recording. And I'll see you some other time, I hope.